Hello, Power fans, it's Mathonical, and thank you for joining me in this wrap-up and analysis of Burn. I know this may not be the most popular deck, but it definitely has a position in the top of the format right now, especially with the newcomers of Skewer the Critics and previously Ghitu Lavarunner. So we're going to go over the pros, the cons, and some possible changes we can make in the future. So starting off the positive side, this deck is fast. So if you've got things to do or places to be and you still want to play Pauper, Burn might be the deck for you. Also, I think this is a great deck for new players to pick up. Of course, if a new player wants to play something else, of course go with that, but if they just want to get a little bit of experience in the Pauper format, Burn is a pretty good place to start. People mostly have the misconception that it's a very linear strategy and you don't have any choices to make. While it is a bit linear, there are choices to make. You have to decide when you're sequencing certain spells and how to play what your opponent's trying to do. Also with this deck, it has nut draws that can beat almost anything. That's just how it is. If you've got the perfect hand and your opponent stumbles even the slightest bit, you just win. On to the negatives now. This deck can be hated very easily. Because you're just going to go turn one mountain and probably burn their face, your opponent is immediately going to shift what they're doing to stop you from winning. And most sideboards are going to have at least a few dedicated slots just to beat Burn. So do be prepared for that. Also, decks can sometimes feel like they're outside of your control. Quite often, you're just going to get to the late game, and by late game, you're like 2 minutes into the game, and you're just looking to top deck that last card to win you the game. It may be a land, it may be a burn spell, but quite often, you're just dealing with statistical probability of what's coming off the top of your deck. So if you like to feel like you're more in control, or have more choices to make over how you're going to win the game, this may not be the deck for you. Also, there isn't much flexibility. Since the main goal of this deck is to just go at your opponent's face, there aren't a lot of cards that you can really play differently. Like you can change some of the numbers around so you can play like a little more lands, or maybe some more Skewer the Critics. Maybe you don't want to play the Lavarunner plus Gitaxian Probe, but all of these decisions, while they do exist and you can personalize the deck, you aren't going to be doing anything radically different with it. You're just going to be going at your opponent's face and hoping it eventually wins the game. With that said, I still think this deck is one of the best in the format right now. It grounds a lot of the other decks that would like to go and do their own thing. They still need to have a game plan to go against Burn. And every time the format forgets about Burn, it always comes back with a vengeance. The last little while, it's been performing quite well. The latest iterations of Burn have been quite fantastic. I tried playing around with a few different cards myself, but I just settled back on the stock list because it is very solid and definitely one of the pillars of the format right now. So let us know what you think in the comments down below, and thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day.